Hello and welcome to the Maternity Diary. Today we have a very special video with a very special guest. Sit back and enjoy. And we are live. Hello yummy mummies and mummies to be, yummy daddies and daddies to be. Welcome to today's video on the Maternity Diary. According to YouTube statistics, over half of you watching have not subscribed to this channel. Please show your girl some love by hitting the subscribe button now. Thank you. In today's video, I will be speaking with a very special guest and knowledge hub. He is a licensed clinical psychologist and the president of the College for Counseling and Psychology in Ghana. Best part of it all is he is my beloved father, Professor Samuel Ohineba-Donyo. Thank you so much for making time to join us on the Maternity Diary. Parents and children are facing new challenges as the pandemic continues to impact work life and home routine. While adjusting to these changes can be a bit daunting, we as parents must not neglect that we do need to understand the psychological patterns that affect our children in order to help us better communicate and connect with our children and to help improve their ability to thrive. And so it is important to ask, what is child psychology and why is it important?
Psychology is the science of mental processes and how that directly can be linked to the behavior or the actions of people. So when we are actually talking about behavior or action, we want to understand it from the angle of the way people are thinking and the way they are reasoning and how that thinking and reasoning actually influences their emotions or their feelings, which directly produces their behavior or their action. So when we refer to child psychology, we are actually trying to study why children do what they do, and we want to know that from the way they are thinking. How are they thinking? How are they reasoning? And how is that influencing and producing their kind of emotions that is responsible for the way they are behaving? This is why child psychology is very important. You cannot try to understand why your child or a child does what he does unless you try to know how they are thinking and how they are reasoning.
What are the formative years of a child, and at what age is the child most influenced?
The formative stages of children, actually, as Sigmund Freud or the psychologists put it, they believe that by the age of 7, a child's adult years has already been shaped. When children are born, they go through the toddler stage, then they go through the oral stage where pleasure actually centers in their mouth. And so whatever they pick from the ground, they put it in their mouth, they put their hands in their mouth, they suck their thumb, because that is the stage for where pleasure is actually in the oral form or in the mouth. Then they go to the anal stage where pleasure is actually focused or is actually in the anal areas. They want to go and pull and sit there and play, sometimes even with the fecal waste. They play with it because the place of interest or pleasure is actually focused in the anal areas of their anatomies, and then they go to the phallic stage of their lives. By the age of 7, their adult years has already been shaped. And it should be well understood that as children are growing, they go through developmental stages. And every developmental stage actually has needs, developmental needs that must be met. And any need that is not met is actually carried forward into their adult years, so that when a person even becomes an adult or now enters into their midlife area or is even retired, the need that has not been met when they were children at specific stages of their life. For example, if a child was given birth to and had to suck the breast, but because probably mommy passed on, mommy was not alive, or there was an early divorce and so on, so they couldn't suck the breast. When they grow up into an adult, they begin to find their mother figure in their wives, if it's a male, and they will want to suck the breast of their mothers. We have had a lot of stories and clients who have even come to us trying to compete with their children in sucking the breast of their mothers. And many people did not really understand. I mean, this looks weird to many people because it looks like the person's particular age at this time does not warrant, this kind of action or behavior. Unfortunately, they are very serious and they really wanted to suck the breast because when they were growing up as babies at a stage where they needed the breast the most, mommy was not there. We have had cases of people who have gone on retirement and they took their retirement monies to go and buy a toy car, a toy car such as a sports car for 2 people, very, very expensive. And this created a lot of friction and difficulties, conflicts among couples. And then we have to investigate, we have to sit down and assess the situation in order to know how to counsel them. We found out that during the stages where they needed toy cars so badly to use in their lives, daddy and mommy did not have the resources to be able to buy it for them. And so they are now on retirement, they have all the money to themselves. They still have to meet that particular need for a toy car. And that is why they bought it. So you see, human beings grow according to stages of development. And each stage has needs. And these needs must necessarily be met. If they are not met, they will be carried into adult years as a dysfunctional life that many people, if not well understood, would think that something weird or crazy is happening to people. So before the age of 7, we need to catch children young. We need to be able to train them so that when they grow up, they will not depart from the training they have had.
Do you think parents should be worried when their children are not meeting their developmental milestones?
With age appropriateness, children are supposed to be behaving in specific ways. They are supposed to start learning to walk. They are supposed to start learning to talk. They are supposed to start acquiring certain skills as they are growing up. A parent must really be worried if your child has reached a certain age, but is not behaving age appropriately or is not acting age appropriately. You should be really worried because any delay in certain developments is going to affect their growing process. And it will be very, very important for a parent who sees or identifies some of these dysfunctions or some of these slow pace of development in the child to see a child psychologist who will be able to help them diagnose and find out what specific thing might be wrong with them and try to help them bring some kind of order or healing to these dysfunctions before they reach a certain stage of their lives is very important.
How do you help kids adjust to changes in this pandemic era when social life is highly restricted?
Well, many people don't believe that children also have childhood stresses that they go through. Children can go through stress. And just as adults who go through stress feels like life is boring, they become helpless, they feel hopeless, they feel, depressed, they feel down, children can equally feel the same. And so during this COVID era where life is socially restricted, but children find themselves at home, then parents would have to create the environment for the children to grow and to get well nurtured. Children love a lot of play because they have a lot of energy within them. The only way they can exhale that energy within them or hyperventilate that energy within them is to be able to play, to watch a lot of movies. At the same time, they use the opportunity to learn, but also good nutrition is going to be very important, and parents will have to give them very, very good nutrition and things that will relax them. They should have the opportunity also to rest as much as they play and learn. All of these would help a child to develop well and to avoid the stresses that the COVID era imposes upon human beings in general.